All right, welcome back. We live in a world where everything is at our fingertips and we hate waiting for things. And we like to get things as quickly and easy as possible. Now, when it comes to things like the gym or making, we'll say generational wealth, but making a significant amount of money, it takes the exact opposite to achieve those things. Because if you think anything that's real and is valued in today's society is generally hard to get. Now, just because something's hard to get doesn't mean it's valuable, but if it's valuable, it's hard to get. It's important you make that distinction. But the gym is a good reference to this because taking steroids is definitely a quicker and you could say easier way of getting the physique you want and looking a certain way at the cost of your health. Versus naturally, it's a slow process that will take years, multiple years and thousands of hours working really hard in the gym and focusing on your meal prep and your sleep and all those kind of things, your supplements, all that. And to a lot of people who are starting in that climb to the top, let's say, it can be very off-putting and very difficult, especially at the beginning when it seems like you've got so far to go. And the easiest way I've found to not only overcome this overwhelming amount of, you could say, pressure or looking at a task so large, but also how to find purpose and fulfillment, even though you aren't where you want to be. Now, you hear a lot of creators who've made it. Alex Hormozi is a big advocate of this. And it's the fact that the journey to the top is much more enjoyable than actually reaching the top and being at the top. And if they could, they would go back and just to have that feeling of working towards something but not having it yet and not knowing if you will get it. And so applying this to the gym analogy, if you're first still starting out in the gym, very, very new, you see these guys who are super jacked and you think that is so far away from me and that is going to take so long. And it is. There's no denying that. But instead of looking at it as a whole, you should just be chasing progress. You should be just chasing little wins every day. And this is the mentality that I've been carrying in the gym for a while, and I've recently started applying it to the rest of my life. Just chasing progress. So every time I go into the gym, I aim for at least one PR. Whether that might be one rep more on an exercise, or it's going up in weight, or it's, increasing the amount of reps in reserve that I can do, making the lifts easier. As long as I am improving somewhere every time, I know that eventually I will be strong enough, and when I'm strong enough, I will look a certain way because that's the nature of bodybuilding and looking a certain way. And then, I apply that to my meal prep and my diet and my tracking. And it's, well, I've got to keep hitting my protein, and watching the scales go up. If I want to bulk, I've just got to keep increasing the weight and keep hitting my calories every day. And eventually the scales will go up. And when you set these little achievable goals and you start actually reaching them, the feeling is fucking incredible. Like, I go into, after a workout, I don't always go and check my physique in the mirror. Sometimes I just go home because it feels like I'm not making any progress if I lift 5 times a week and after every workout I'm going in to the pump room and checking the pump, checking my physique, versus I go in maybe once a month, even less sometimes, and almost every time I can see visible progress, whether that's my delts looking a little bit fuller, or my back is a little more lean, or my biceps have a higher peak. These kind of little things that, a month can go so quick, and as long as you're doing the right thing, a month goes so quick, and therefore you're making progress so quick. And all of a sudden, within, 6, 12 months, you look significantly better than what you did. And it didn't even feel like it because you're just chasing little wins. And a bunch of little wins stacks up to a big win. And this can be extrapolated to massive time frames. And before you know it, you've got a physique that not only you're proud of, but other people admire. And all of a sudden you have achieved something that people find valuable because you put in the hard work and you found a system of chasing little progress, any progress, as the driving factor in your hard work. Now, it's not always going to be the case, and obviously there's going to be times where things aren't going well, but there's always somewhere in your life where you can make progress. So every day when you wake up, find somewhere, wherever it is in your life, to make some sort of progress. Because even if it is the most insignificant thing, if you're always making progress, eventually there will be no more progress to be made. No, that's not true. There's always progress to be made, but if you keep working on little things, taking the little smaller steps possible, that eventually you will take enough steps to be where you want to be, to reach those massive goals that you've set for yourself, to achieve all this success. And the people who are unsatisfied because they don't take big enough steps will fail, because their definition of success and progress is unrealistic. So go out there every single day with the mindset of making progress. Doesn't matter how much or how little. It could be just, you weighed yourself and you took your creatine and, I don't know, you went to the gym that day. If you're not super consistent with those things, just staking with that habit, that's progress. You're building that habit. Whether it is, drinking enough water in the day, that's progress. It could be the smallest thing. Even just going outside and getting some fresh air, getting some sun. I know here in Australia, it's coming into summertime. So the weather's nice. You go outside and get some fresh air, go for a little walk. It could be the smallest thing. And whatever it is to you, as long as it's taking a step in the right direction, you're doing the right thing and you will eventually make it. You will be leaps and bounds ahead of everyone else, because a majority of people are either not taking any steps forward or taking steps back. They're actively making the distance between them and their goals bigger. So make a list. If you're struggling to figure out things, make a list. Ask ChatGPT, What are the smallest things that I can do to make progress towards X goal or Y goal? And just start doing something. If you're still here at the end of the video, I love you. Thanks for sticking around, and life is what you make it.